Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is one thing that everybody loves, and it's a convertible like this, a cabriolet. Smell the fresh air of nature, of life that surrounds us. And I was thinking maybe we could make an aviation version of this magical car train.
Yes, everybody, my friends of unemployment, we have got a Cabriolet Boeing 737. You know, this kind of reminds me of Aloha Airlines Flight 243, which we talked about before. We've actually simulated that in the X-Plane Flight Sim before. A ruptured fuselage. Famous picture, the thing kind of broke off mid-flight, and the plane actually miraculously landed right after it happened here, just north of the Hilo Island here. It landed at Kahului Airport. Everyone survived, and everyone got a fun ride of it. Do you know, the truth is, convertible cabriolet cars are a bit more sought after, more expensive. And you know, these passenger train rides across the Alpine Mountains, the cars that are always full is the one that have no roof. You can see a lot out of them. We've got a million reasons to have an experience like this, an open roof airplane. And I mean, there are planes that have that in real life. For example, most biplanes here from World War II. Look at this beautiful cabriolet experience where you can really hear your airplane for the first time and you're not in like some sort of beta male chamber, you know, that's protected from the outside. No, this is how real men fly, and the only way to improve this in any way is by being a wing walker on a biplane. Very smart, always goes well. Dude, did they play tennis on a fucking airplane? What the hell's going on in London? Yes, everybody, this way you can turn your boring ass flight into an experience. Now, I've done what was necessary to make this a proper mod in the X-Plane Flight Sim. Look at this. The cockpit might look normal. I actually wanted to have that as a convertible model as well, but we have the overhead panel. Can't really get rid of that. But walking outside of the cabin brings us lots of joy once we see the outside world. Now, granted, the X-Plane Flight Simulator isn't really made for stuff like this, so it's a little bugged. Oh wow, this is not good. Wouldn't even know why this shouldn't be here. Anyway, look at the huge amount of stuff we can see. We are here at LaGuardia's airport here in New York. Look at the New York in the background. We're gonna take a scenic flight. But first, let's load up some passengers. Yes, everybody, look at that. All the excited people wanting to know what it's like to do this. Now, the important question is, would this be doable in real life? Probably, maybe, yes. Obviously, we've lost a lot of structural integrity here of this airplane by practically cutting it in half here in the fuselage. So this plane probably would fall apart upon takeoff, especially at higher speeds. This wouldn't go well. What was very interesting to see is to find out how thin is an airplane fuselage really? And the answer is very thin. Now, this might be a bit over-exaggerated, but really, plane fuselages aren't thick walls. They're very thin, almost as thin as the width of a 737 cab. Let's fly. I don't even know. All right. Now, what is going to change, especially on this flight here, is the sound design. Obviously, it's going to be much louder in here. Much louder. And I mean, we can already hear how loud an APU is. That doesn't change once we're in the cockpit, of course. Lots of noise. Let's go ahead and turn on this here. This should be fine. In fact, let's go ahead and do a quick start on the engines and just get off. All right, engines are started up. As you can see, this is very fine. Passengers in the passenger cabin are super excited to be on board. Am I right, sir? Yes, we can hear chatter, but it's a very loud cabin as well. And yes, I'm sorry, this is kind of broken slightly. Whoa, hey. Now, talking about the realism of this project, I think the problem is that the passengers are not restrained enough. I mean, they could just unbuckle their seatbelt and jump into the engine, or jump onto the wing and then jump onto the tarmac. I think that is something that the FAA would disagree with. Anyway, let's... yeah. Use reverse thrust to get out of here. It's quite loud. Everybody's sitting in comfort, especially the pilots, so don't bother with the cabriolet stuff. This is fine. All right, a little bit of swinging around here. Yes, this is fine. Passengers came here for an exciting, thrilling ride after all. Wonderful stuff. Let's go ahead and move forward. Now, I think to prevent passengers from flying off, you definitely need to change the seatbelt design as well. He's, by the way, not wearing anything. Oh, what the hell? But you probably need like a 3-point or like a 5-point seatbelt design. Otherwise, you might just slip out. No, or maybe like a restraining system they have on a theme park ride. Oh, Yes. Now, by the way, I've actually tried to simulate this exact stuff. After all, a tube really doesn't appreciate having holes in it. So the aerodynamics won't appreciate that, especially also what's going on in the galley. We'll have so much air pushing forward. Once we go faster, we'll have so much air entering the actual cabin, and especially the galley here. This acts as a huge air brake. This plane will perform a lot worse, especially also because the fact that we've got no roof doesn't really help with weight all that much. After all, it doesn't weigh much. Also, we'll probably struggle with antenna stuff because we've gotten rid of all of our antennas. This probably will not have any comm. But the good thing is, everyone can see you. Or the passengers at least. They can do hand signs to the tower. Alright, let's go ahead now and get flaps to 15 degrees as always. This is totally fine. We're gonna do a scenic flight above New York. Once again, perfect location. Alright, let's turn right onto the runway. Everyone's looking in excitement. Everyone is slightly afraid here on board this flighting. Alright, let's go and take off. Full power. This will probably be a deafening amount of noise, by the way. This is extremely loud now. Alright, full power. You can do it. Everyone's turned deaf. Great work. Alright, let's go into the cockpit here. We have a little bit of less noise here. After all, this cockpit door is very, very thick. Let's go ahead and see if we can even take off at all. We're moving up in a lot of speed here. This is perfect. Let's see if we can carefully rotate. And yes, we can, everybody. Look at that. Our Cabriolet Airlines flight has taken off here from some runway. I don't even know. Oh, this might be quite a bank angle. But after all, people are here to see a scenic ride. Put the landing gear up. Now, what this flight simulator does not simulate at all, of course, is the structural capability. This thing would have probably fallen apart. I think so. I think it would have. I mean, it's true. The lower part of the fuselage does a lot more in terms of structural integrity, but there's no way with all that air coming into the galley that this thing wouldn't, like, crash. We're at 300 knots now. But people are now able to see New York in a different light. In a different speed. I mean, they could have just taken this helicopter ride thing, but being at 300 knots is definitely a more thrilling adventure, isn't it? Why are you not sitting? You can't even see much, lady. You're missing out on quite the view of New York indeed. Now, I did kind of forget to bring goggles to the passengers, but we could make this like a model of selling them for like 20 euros. This is the way we become even more profitable as a scenic tour airline. I mean, you could probably sell those seats for like a few $1,000 and people will still buy them. Look at how thrilling that looks. People can see lower Manhattan in a beautiful light. Absolutely wonderful. Now we're above the Hudson River. People can have a beautiful look at that. No need for those stupid helicopters that create a lot of noise. We can create even more noise with our huge engines. You can even enjoy a show here. Isn't that amazing? Am I right? Look, we can see outside. Why are the buildings so colorful here in New York? That really doesn't make much sense. Anyway, yeah, there is a bit of problems here when it comes to this aircraft design. Well, if we would have survived the climb by now and the huge forces that act upon everything, then it's definitely the aircraft pressurization system that would not work. Definitely not work. What that means is that after reaching around, I think 10,000 feet in the 737, we got a big warning here that people are about to lose consciousness. Look, though. Look at this beautiful... I mean, that's a sight to lose consciousness, too, though. By the way, crazy. This thing performs like a rocket now that we've cut away this... This is odd. Our pressurization systems are a bit... They're not doing very well. For some reason, though, our airplane is not giving us a warning. We're now at, what, 18,000 feet. We're getting quite high now. I think this would genuinely just be a scary ride overall. Can you imagine falling out of this plane now or something? I don't even know if the structural capability of a seat here is enough to hold up against 260 knots of airspeed hitting against you. Now, we do have a cabin altitude alert, so we're gonna probably die soon. Yeah, what I mean by that is we're passing out a little bit. But for 20 more euros, you can order some scuba diving tanks or something so you don't die of depression. Yeah, we're kind of passing out. This is exactly what I expected of my new, beautiful idea. But I think what would be funny as well to, like, let's land this plane somewhere. All right, my friends of scenic rides, are you ready for this? This PC-12 was broken, so we need to take a scenic ride on the 737. This will be a bit of a crazier flight with a lot more risk involved. But that's more fun, I guess. All right, let's go full power. Come on, you can do it. Yes, full power on a 737 means a lot of acceleration, especially here. Wow, this thing accelerates like crazy. Let's go and put the flaps down. After all, in scenic flights, you don't have to take much cargo, right? So you can definitely save a lot of weight on that. All right, there we go. We've done it. Small tail strike here. Nothing to worry about. Passengers are happy and alive, aren't they? Look at that. We can put the landing gear up. People are more than just happy. Am I right? Look, he's smiling, seeing the beautiful water here. Let me try to do a landing as well. That could be dangerous. Okay, landing gear down. Let's do it. Passengers are able to see the beautiful spoilers coming up. Wonderful. Now let's see how they feel about a bit of a harder landing. We will definitely have to land a bit harder. We're coming in quite fast, but no problem at all. Let's not crash into a mountain.
2010.
Oh my God, everyone's dead. Everyone is dead. Okay, look at that. No worries, no worries. A few spines are broken, and we're gonna go for a swim. You know, this is kind of what we can use this as a boat too. You know, that's very, people love boats. People love boating, you know. No trouble. You know, how about we go into the ocean or something like that? Beautiful. Oh, now we've crashed completely. Sorry, fellas. This might have not gone the way you wanted it to go. But look, we can all now go for a swim. This was the most stupidest video I've ever done. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters. Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Fanner, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.